Hello, from what you can see from the title, I am trying to do one of the hardest things I think in this game, and it's ranking the top 10 greatest Smash Ultimate players of all time. Now, before you get riled up, I want to start with my honorable mentions. And two of them you're seeing on the screen. You have Mars and Zachary as two of my other honorable mentions. But before we get into the list, I want to say you can interchange my honorable mentions with number 10, and I think I wouldn't disagree with you. Because in my honorable mentions, I have Mars, Zachary, I would say Onin, but yeah. Onin, Nairo, and I think Samsara would go here if they're not banned. But since they are, we're only going to focus on Mars and Zachary. Maybe the Buzz, you can throw in the Buzz there, but he doesn't have a super major win, so I don't know if you want to count that. But yeah, I feel like, and then I'd say Hurt and Zomba if you want to talk about more recent players. Any one of these four players and my upcoming number 10, you can interchange them, and I feel like I wouldn't mind the list. So, yeah, let's get into my top 10 greatest players of all time. So, starting off my number 10 spot, I have Shuton, which a lot of people might say, why not Zachary over Shuton? Well, it's because Shuton currently, right now, has like a better record in like the modern era of Smash Ultimate than Zachary does, because just of recent he won Saibugeki, a super major in 2025, and just like yesterday he beat Akola and Mia. So I feel like that warrants very high placements. But again, he is very interchangeable with the honorable mentions. For my number 9 spot, I have Doramigi, the current number 1 player as of 2026 rankings, before the new rankings, and probably the youngest number 1 player ever, because he's like 16 years old, but he is one of 4 players to reach number 1 in the world. He already has like 2 very good major wins. I feel like if you have a number 1 spot, this place is warranted. That's why I think he deserves number 9.
But his first Kagaribi! Pop off, young king!
Now for my number 8 and number 7 spots, I feel like they can be interchangeable. It just depends on what you value more. But I would have Gluttony at number 8 and Light at number 7. Which I feel like is not controversial fully. Gluto obviously has won Battle of BC 7 last year. And as you can see on the screen, won Terra, the largest European tournament ever. He also has 1 pound, and I want to say Ludo, as well as being one of the greatest Ultimate players ever, I feel like he's one of the greatest Smash players ever, because he's been really good in all 3 titles he has competed in. So if you value that, I can see him being above Light. And of course, like Light, he has been competing for a long time, so his legacy is really, really long. Now, for Light, like his biggest win is Super Smash Con Fall Fest, where he won over Spargo, and that's his biggest win. But even then, just as of 2024, he was ranked number 4 in the world, while Gluto's highest placing is number 5 in the world. We're talking about Lumi rank and Alt rank, by the way. So I think just that fact that Light's peak is higher than Gluton's peak when it comes to players ranking, that's why I would have Light over Gluttony. But I don't mind if you have like the 2 in the same area, because I feel like they're interchangeable.
One up smash away, and he finds it.
For my number 6, I have the first horseman on this list, and that would be Sonics. And there's really not a lot to say about this guy that hasn't been said. Current Genesis champion, arguably the most consistent player of all time. The curse of second place over and over again. But yeah, there's really nothing more to say. He deserves his spot on this list.
Oh my God! He had it, TK. He had the 3S, baby. He had the faith. He had the focus. And finally, he gets the finish. The curse is broken. Back-to-back poor priorities.
And back-to-back, I have another horseman at my number 5 spot. I would have Mia as my number 5 greatest player of all time. So why Mia? He has the biggest trophy case when it comes to majors. He has won the most majors ever, like even eclipsing the number 1 guy on this spot, which most people probably know. And just aside from that, Mia has been number 2 in player rankings ever since 2024.1 ranking season, right? So he has been number 2 in the world 3 rankings in a row. And I just think that warrants a very high spot. Of course, his play, his dominance is there, but I think aside from MKLeo getting first in 3 years in a row, this is the only time we've seen a player be this good and this high for an entire multiple year lifespan. Yeah, that's why I think Mia is number 5, the second horseman. And he had one of his best losers on just Saibugeki and Delta. So yeah, he definitely deserves his spot on the list.
And that's it! Mia takes it! Kagurumi 11 champion!
He's tried time and time again.
Now, for my number 4 spot, I have Tweak. This might be too high or too low, depending on who you ask, but I think Tweak just fits in right here. He may not have the biggest trophy case or the most consistent play, but I just think his legacy, he won a major every year of Ultimate that has been released, except for 2025, where he was inactive for majority of the year. That fact, on top of the fact that sorry, I'm kind of sick. That he has been ranked top 10 the most times out of anyone, only stopping at this year just because he was inactive. I feel like he could have gotten top 10 if he was more active. And the fact that this is all time, also, again, his legacy, very big. I feel like he was the closest man to MKLeo when MKLeo was that man. So I feel like that in itself, and the fact that he's been actually outperforming Leo in terms of recent placings, I feel like that warrants his spot on number 4.
And he wins the Tweak 200%. How? Walks off looking like a beast right now. Holy shit.
Now we're down to my top 3, and I feel like this is the most climactic part of the top 10 because I think everyone knows who number 1 is. But depending on who you ask, top 2 and top 3 can interchange. But for me, at my number 3 spot, I would have Spargo. Very controversial, I think. I'm not sure actually. But I have Spargo as my number 3 because, let's see, he is one of the other players who has been ranked number 1 in the world. He is one of 2 Ultimate players who has won a Japanese super major, the other one being redacted. And alongside that, his lowest ranking in the player rankings is 9th. And he has won so many Premier and Super Major tournaments. So I think he is number 3. And that means my number 2 right now is Akola. The only other person to hold rank 1 multiple times. Akola has he's what we hear when we say ultimate prodigy. He was the first one, I think. He was, I think, the lowest seeded player to ever win a major. He has won the biggest, I'm not sure if just ultimate, he won the biggest Smash tournament ever, like the most stacked ultimate major ever. And I feel like that and his multiple number one seasons, his pure consistency, his worst player ranking was 3rd, like ever. I feel like that warrants 2nd greatest of all time.
The dash attack will be enough for Akola. He will claim back his throne at Kakari B13.
Dread it, run from it. We all knew who number 1 was if you clicked on the video. The number 1 greatest player of all time in Smash Ultimate is Leo. And I think it isn't controversial. I mean, I can see Akola taking it in a few years, but right now, MKLeo is just, he's on another level. The only other player to hold rank number 1 for multiple years, he held it for 3 separate years. In like 2019, 2020, if you see MKLeo in a tournament, there was like a 70% chance he was in grand finals. And that's not even an exaggeration. That's how good he was in the early days of Ultimate. Currently, right now, I feel like he's better than he was when he was so dominant. It's just the competition climbed up and caught up to him. But still, his legacy it's unmatched. Even if his worst player ranking is 25th in the world, I just don't think that is so bad in my mind that he's the greatest player of all time. He's the GOAT. Undeniably, MKLeo is the GOAT. We all knew that he was number 1 when you clicked on this video. So, yeah. Anyways, enjoy watching Leo win EVO for like the millionth time, I guess.
Dodging to the ledge!
Waiting for the 3rd jab. So smart. He's going to try to go low. Can he spike it? He mistimes it. He grabs the ledge. And with that, MKLeo defeats Tweak to be your 2019 EVO champion.
And that was my top 10 greatest players of all time. Well, more like top 14 if you count honorable mentions. But those are my personal top 10 greatest of all time. I want to hear people's lists and opinions, so if you do, I want to hear them in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe, fucking all that jazz. But I just want to hear other people's thoughts on top 10 greatest list, because I feel like outside of number 1, maybe 2, things can change a lot depending on how people view certain things. So yeah, I want to hear you guys' opinions. So see you next time, and thanks for watching.